Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. We are joined by the lovely Heather Monroe. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
We are awesome. Thank you for coming on. Well, I say we're awesome. I guess I'm awesome. I don't know about him, but you know,
Thanks.
Speak for yourself.
speak for myself. Exactly. Now, I am so excited to get you on, but I've got to, before we talk any wrestling, anything like that, I mean, I'm going to talk about your Twitter bio. I mean, professional singer of cat meows. I'm intrigued.
Yes. Okay, so pretty much any song you can sing with cat meows, like essentially.
Okay, can I give you a song and see if
Yes.
you can sing it with cat meows? Okay.
If I can remember the song, yeah.
Do you know Chop Suey by System of a Down?
Yes.
a ridiculous
Wait, how
song.
does it? Now
Yeah.
I definitely know that song, but like, how does it? Hey, why don't you put on a little makeup? Why
Yeah,
don't you-
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I don't know the actual words, but these are the words I think they are. Like, so meow, 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 meow.
That's
Perfect.
fair enough. I chose a
Perfect.
ridiculous song on purpose, and you proved me wrong. Well done.
Brilliant.
I mostly sing songs that I don't know the words to with cat meows instead of songs. Speaking of cats, my cat is literally chewing on plastic. Stop. So, okay.
What's
Well-
your favorite song to sing with meows? Because I want to hear one that you're like really confident with.
Oh man, I feel like it has to come on and then me be like, oh, this is great.
This is a meow song. Yeah.
it makes me want to meow. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Like, oh, you know what? Firework by Katy Perry is really good for it. Meow 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 meow.
Wow. Yeah.
It works
I
perfectly.
reckon, you know what I think would be good? Blinding Lights by The Weeknd.
Oh yeah.
Meow 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 meow.
meow
Yeah.
meow meow meow. Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Song. Next time you're listening to music, like you can meow any song.
Meow, meow. Yeah. I'm gonna be doing that all the time now, though. That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, it is going to be a problem because we live in the same house, Heather. So all I'm going to do is hear him meowing all day now. So it is going to be a problem, yeah. God.
I'm really
You know
cool.
what? You, I must admit, you meowing Fireworks by Katy Perry is actually better than Fireworks by Katy Perry. So I'll give you that.
I'll take it.
And even I know who Katy Perry is. So that's you know. That's
There
a
you
good
go.
one. There we go. That's a good one. But now the meowing's out of the way, because that was, you know, I had to ask. You know, I knew he'd get carried away.
That is legitimately what it means. Like, because I've had a Twitter for 1 million years, I would say, because I'm old. So like, I've had it for like almost like 12 years probably. So it's been in there for that long.
Really? You've had it in there that long?
Because I learned in college that was a thing.
Right.
that
Okay.
I would do.
We only brought you on here to talk about the cat meows. We heard you're a wrestler as well.
I've been waiting for somebody to ask me. Nobody asks me about it.
That had to be the first question. I mean, come on, you know, you are a professional singer of cat meows. How
I'm
could we
also
not
a
start with
wrestler? A wrestler on the side.
On the side, yeah.
Well, you know, we might as well ask you a wrestling-related question, haven't we? I mean, because, you know, why the hell not? Because some of that we did have a look at, because we don't like to write questions down. We just go with the flow and chat shit. But we did notice one thing, and that is that you was trained by Santino Brothers. We've had a few people on that have been trained there. So, I mean, what was your experience like there?
Oh, I loved it. I looked around when I first decided to wrestle at a few different schools, and I felt like they were the perfect fit for me. And when I got there, it was like I just love how they run things. Like it's so regimented, and how they do it is very calculated. So, and they run shows very often. So that was kind of like what made me want to be a part of it. And then the people there, the training, the other students, like it's my family. I wouldn't have wanted to go anywhere else.
No, I said we've had a few people on that have worked, and they've pretty much said the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, do you still get to go down there then? You said they put shows on. Are you still a part of it? You still involved?
Yeah, so unfortunately with being out in California and Los Angeles specifically, we got hit pretty hard with COVID. So at the very beginning, they kind of decided to close down the school, just because they didn't want to be responsible for if anybody got it or, you know, like anything worse. And they were just like, we just can't live with ourselves if something like that happens. So they closed down completely, and it was pretty devastating because that was like our dojo, like that was where we trained. So they like are out of there. But I know they're itching, so they're gonna come. They're working on coming back soon. Just because also things have gotten a little bit better here. But they've been doing online trainings this whole time too, because Joey is such a good mind for wrestling, and like, even though they haven't gotten to get in the ring yet, I'm sure they have like so much knowledge just based off of the stuff that he said. He's like super motivational, and it just makes sense, the stuff that he says to me.
Yeah, and do you know what as well? I'm going to ask you, because normally we say at the end about things coming up, but I'm very excited for this weekend because you're going up against Maddie Renkowski, Hurricane Pro Wrestling, which again, big fans of Maddie as well. She's making a name for herself lately. I mean, are you looking forward to that match? What you're expecting? I mean, have you worked with Maddie before as well?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't worked with her before, so I think a lot of those girls down in Texas are so talented, and I'm just really excited about their new crop of girls that are coming out. So I'm excited to get the chance against her. I got to wrestle Vert recently too, which I think she's incredibly talented. They just have a lot of stuff going on down in Texas that I'm excited to be a part of. So I'm definitely looking forward to that match.
Yeah, speaking of the great talent in Texas, you recently got to wrestle Rachel Rose too for New Texas Pro Wrestling. We were speaking to New Texas the other day on the show, and they were saying like there's so many good wrestlers in that Texas scene that are just like waiting for the opportunity to show up they can do, because I feel like there's a lot of hidden gems in that Texas scene that people aren't really aware of at the moment. Rachel Rose, I know she's popular on the Texas scene, but I feel like she's the next breakout star, like in the whole of the country. I mean, what was it like wrestling for New Texas Pro with Rachel Rose?
Yeah, I think Texas kind of has the same vibe as Southern California, where there's so many good people here that it just doesn't get as much exposure as maybe it should.
Yeah.
So that's why it's nice, like somewhere like New Texas that's finally kind of like getting that exposure. He does amazing cards. Like this next card is so
the
good.
Astro World card.
I'm so sad that I'm literally like on another show that day in the same area, and I'm like, I just want to come. Can I do both? Can I come do both shows? Like, there's so many talented people in Texas for sure, and like I've gotten the chance to work with them too, which has been really nice. And like, Rachel is somebody that like I feel like I see myself in. Like we have very similar personas, very similar like ways of coming at things. Like she has like this amazing character that's so fun to watch, and the talent to back it up too. It's not just like one-sided. So I think that she has all the potential in the world, and she's gonna in a year even from now, I think she'll be amazing.
Yeah, and you're saying that as well, obviously with New Texas Pro this weekend. Like you said, the card's just ridiculous. I mean, we spoke to Willie the other night, and he was reeling the matches off. I was like, dude, can you just fly me out to Texas like right now? You know, I'll wear a mask for the whole flight. I don't mind.
Ridiculous card.
It's ridiculous. And he wanted me to be on that card too, and I'm like, I want to be on it so bad. Like, but also Hurricane has a freaking awesome card too. So I'm like, there's so much happening next week. Like, just some amazing matches happening in Texas, and I think eyes are finally turning to them. And I've been very thankful and grateful to like call Texas my second home.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to be a part of it all.
Well, I was looking at the card for Hurricane as well, and like you said, that's stacked as well. But I mean, you're the women's champion. I mean, what's that like for you representing the company?
I love working for them. I've had some very amazing matches there, and just like the show that they run in general is I think always really solid. And I think once people like really turn their eyes to it, they're gonna get just like more popularity as well. They always are bringing in like the hottest, like especially like women's wrestling. They're really really good about like focusing on women's wrestling. And I do think that I was like kind of the start of that. and they brought me in. They were like, okay, we want to build like more. And since then, obviously, they have like Diana coming in, Viperous. They have a bunch of like really amazing people. Shane Taylor's going to be there. So it'll be a really good show.
Yeah, as like I said, the card was stacked. I was looking at it before we got you on, and I'm like, there's so much wrestling to watch this weekend, and there's so many incredible cards as well. I mean, I'm presuming it'll be on IWTV, so we can watch it on there.
You got Title Match though. That's like Title Match has a lot of good stuff. I do think they've done a lot of like intergender and like just kind of regular wrestling too, but they focus a lot on women's wrestling, and they have a lot of really good women's wrestling on their site and intergender.
Yeah, I'm just bookmarking that now. Actually, that's one I'm not too familiar with, so I'm gonna check that out after this.
Oh yeah, especially they have like millions of followers on their YouTube even. So they have like a lot of free YouTube stuff, but like you can stream it the same as you do on IWTV through Title Match.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm just having a look now. There's like a lot of really good promotions and matches on there. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for thanks for letting us know about that.
You're welcome.
I always know when he's happy because his little smile, his little face lights up like that. So it's
more wrestling. I mean, we're doing nothing at the moment. More wrestling to watch is always a good thing. So
yeah.
And the bonus.
I've had some of my favorite matches, specifically in Texas, but also just in general with Title Match, like their Ladies' Night Out. I really love, me and Roxy had a match at the beginning of last year that I really love. Me and Tesha Price, too. We did same day, did 2 matches, but I always have fun doing their shows.
Well, I think that's something we're certainly going to check out after this, because the bonuses as well is, I am shit with technology, but he's great, so he can get it all set up and put it on. It's perfect. You know,
Yin and yang.
Yeah,
honestly,
This is a guy who only last week found out that Amazon has an app. So, I
genuinely wish that I was like that, because then I would stop spending money.
Yeah.
I always say I should live in the woods in a cabin somewhere, just, you know. Give me a bottle of whiskey and a guitar, and I'm all right. You know.
He was looking for a chair to buy for his room, so he went on Google and just typed in chair. And I said, you could just use the Amazon app. And he goes, "What do you mean Amazon's got an app?" And I was like, "Oh, sweet Jamie, sweet Jamie." But
I need that though. Like I need that energy.
Yeah.
Me and my roommate were out to brunch just now, and when we walked up to our door, I was like, "Oh, there's a package. What did I order?" Like, just randomly ordered some like wireless headphones.
Why not though, right? I mean, especially during this lockdown, this pandemic, you're just buying it to cheer yourself up. You know.
That's another confusing thing to me. The wireless headphones. I remember when Callum, before we went into lockdown, obviously we was in the pub one night having a few beers, and Callum turned up with these headphones in, and there was no wires. Completely blew my mind. He was trying to explain it all night.
Sorry to sidetrack a little bit, but Jamie's so precious that he actually thought the songs I was listening to were stored inside the earphones, not my phone. He thought the songs were actually on the earphones instead.
Because there's no wire. You know,
some little iPod.
Yeah.
I don't get it. There was no wire connected to the phone, and I don't get it.
Are you a little bit better with technology, Heather?
I definitely feel like I'm good with technology. I just don't care a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Like with the wireless headphones, I'm like, I don't need that. I don't care. But then there was like something the other day where it's like, when you're like holding your phone or like it's in somewhere and then it drops out and then it like the headphones just like rip out of your ears. I had a moment like that the other day, and it was like my moment where I was like, I can't do this anymore.
First world problems, right?
Yeah. But then I was like, I'm going to find the cheapest Bluetooth headphones because I don't care about spending money on technology. Like,
no,
that's my thing. Like, I don't care about spending money on like shoes, technology, like these like crazy things that other people do. I'm like, I'll spend it all on food.
Yes.
And that's it. Food and experiences. That's where my money goes.
Look, we've got to ask it. Well, you mentioned food. There's a question that we always ask on the show, and we don't know why or where it came from, but we've got to ask. What is your favorite donut?
My favorite donut? Okay, this might be boring, but like a blueberry cake donut.
Oh, no, that's not boring.
What's boring about that?
Yeah.
Every time anywhere I've had one, I like the voodoo donuts. I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity to have them because they're like pretty US, like very in random places, but they have the best blueberry cake donut.
Oh, okay. Interesting answer. I think you can tell a lot about a person by their choice of donut. Like, that's what we've come to find anyway, after asking about 100
me
times.
from a blueberry cake donut.
Well, I mean,
Tell me, BuzzFeed, what is the personality from my blueberry
For
cake
blueberry cake donut, the personality is clearly, I don't know, let's go with, it's like a star sign, this, isn't it? Like, it probably has as much meaning as a star sign. So we'll go with strong, feisty, likes competition, and yeah, that'll do.
yeah.
Just
how close was I?
I mean, yeah,
Does that sound about right?
I mean, sure. I don't know. I think it's so funny when people like the BuzzFeed quizzes, like,
Oh yeah.
where they're like, what's your personality based off your donut? Like,
Yeah, it's when people take it personally though. They'll like do the quiz, and at the end they'll go, "Oh, that's not the one I wanted," and it's like, it wasn't real though. Like which donut are you? Oh, I got strawberry. I wanted blueberry. It's like,
yeah.
don't lose sleep over it. It's gonna be all right.
The weird thing is, though, Colin, do you remember when we first started doing this? We had this thing where we asked like our guests if they'd ever had a Yorkshire pudding, because we're from Yorkshire in the UK, and we even had T-shirts designed, and it was like the Bullet Club sign, but it was a Pudding Club. And do you remember?
Oh, we were so bad when we first started. That's cringy,
Well,
that is.
So you guys know, my sister actually lives in, she's right outside of Oxford. She's moving into Oxford. Her husband's British. He's from Hull.
That's where
Which
we
I
are.
saw.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw you guys are, he's like not from Hull, but he's like around, he's like north, like around Hull.
Oh, wow.
So I've been to England numerous times and I've had Yorkshire pudding.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
There we go, you see.
I had a full Sunday roast the last time I was there.
Oh, so not only do you appreciate a Yorkshire pudding, you've had a Sunday roast as well. Because I know in America, Yorkshire puddings, they're called like turnovers or something, right? Like,
I mean, I guess you could compare it to that, but nothing. I don't think it's like similar to anything we have here.
Really? Right. Okay.
Because it's like, I don't know. It's not as like, it's very fluffy and like, I don't think a turnover would definitely be close, but turnovers have like stuff in them most of the time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. See.
Well, you do realise one thing though, like whenever you come over to visit your sister and you're ever in the Hull area, you've got to come and have a donut with me and Callum now. It's
Yeah, we'll take you to Gardener's Arms as well.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Next time I'm in Hull, I have been up to Hull because his family has like a farm out there, like full farm that they had in their family for like 400 years.
You've been to Hull?
Oh yes, I've been to Hull.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
We traveled when she first moved out there. We traveled all over. So she's lived in Oxford area, like Reading, kind of around that area the whole time. But we traveled up through like York and
York's
through
nice.
Hull, and then up to like Edinburgh and all that. We did it all.
Oh, you're well travelled then in the UK.
Yes.
Ah.
Takes 6 hours to get anywhere. It takes us like 8 hours to get up north here.
Yeah.
I mean, you've genuinely blown my mind. I mean, that you've been to Hull, and it's like
I find it weird when Americans know Hull exists. Like, we're literally
Fair.
nowhere.
It's only because my brother-in-law is like from that area.
Cool. I'll try that.
That's cool. And all this from us asking a donut question. Look how far we got, right?
Mate, we got 6 minutes of content out of that.
Wrestling.
Well, I'll slide another wrestling question in there, seeing as we've, we'll do that. Then I might ask you about pizzas next. Who knows? But wrestling. I mean, let's talk. You had a match on Raw with Nia Jax.
Oh yeah, eons
yeah.
ago.
What was that experience like with the whole WWE machine and wrestling Nia?
It was a really good experience. So I was a year in, like a little over a year in at that point when I had that match. So it was kind of like, it was my second time doing extra work. So my, like, kind of experiencing how they work and like, it was so interesting to see how it all like goes behind the scenes, especially from going from indie wrestling to something so major.
Yeah.
And it was just a chance for me to kind of get in the ring and show what I got. And, walking out there, I thought I would be really scared. Like I was so nervous when I first was behind the curtain and everything. But then when I got out there, it was like, oh, this is like what I do. I do this all the time. And like, it was at Staples Center, which was cool, but also there was people that knew who I was because of that, because of the indie scene. So I heard people like, oh, Heather, like kind of shouting my name. And I'd be interested actually to do it again now that I'm like obviously done more stuff. Like I was so new when I did it. But it was overall just such a solid and like good experience. I learned a lot about how they work and how like kind of what I wanted to do. And it kind of gave me like, oh yeah, this is what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what was it like working with Nia? Because sometimes she gets a bit of stick online, doesn't she? But I mean, I've actually met Nia and she's an absolute sweetheart. What was it like working with her?
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of the time people see something that looks rough and they think it's painful, but it's like that's the point.
Yeah,
right? Like
absolutely.
that's the point. So everything that I was fine. She was really, really cool and nice, and like never did I feel like she was talking down to me or like anything like that. She was really, really cool. It wasn't like, oh, you're here, like why? She was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've met her before. She came when she was on NXT. They did a show in Leeds, and she was part of the meet and greet. And she was an absolute sweetheart. You couldn't have wished to met a nicer person. I think it was her and Bull Dempsey. I think who were the meet and greet. But yeah, she was lovely, absolutely lovely. But I had to ask WWE, but I know Callum as well was like, oh man, she fought Shida on Dynamite as well and all this. So I mean, we have to ask you. What was the AEW experience like as well? Because we hear nothing but good things coming out of there.
Yeah, I mean, that was also just a good experience. Like, just getting the experience to, like, be in that environment was good. That obviously happened very recently, so I feel like I kind of have a hold of myself a little bit more than I did when I did the WWE stuff. But I kind of felt more comfortable there. Like, I know people... I know like most of the roster, like I've worked with them already. A lot of them are from California. So it was kind of a different experience in that regard. But overall, it was like just a super positive experience. I got to train with Dustin Rhodes before each day. So that was really awesome. He's a really good trainer. Felt like I was like really learning stuff. And then working with Shida was awesome. I felt really good about that whole experience.
I'm going to guess that's an experience you'd want to do again sometime soon, right?
Definitely, yeah. I just want to wrestle again, like, regularly. Like, I'm doing it occasionally, but, like, a whole month in between my matches sucks. Especially going from, like, 3 times a week.
That must be so weird
like,
for you.
Once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been wrestling, like, every weekend or, I'm guessing, like, every weekend for the last few years. And then to have a month in between all of a sudden, you must be absolutely chomping at the bit for anything right now.
Yeah, it's killing me. And outside of that, just not being able to train.
Yeah.
Because even, like, when I was, like, last year, like, at my peak, like, I feel like I was really, like, hitting my stride last year. And, like, I was working for, like, 3-4 times a week, every week, training twice a week. So all that's not been happening. So I'm like... Get me to a ring, like someone, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it for fans as well. Like we used to have shows all the time. We've not had a show over here since March, Callum? March last year.
Yeah. You guys have been way more strict than way more strict than the US, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've not had anything. I know Progress did a show on the network last night, but again, it was no fans. I mean, it's great to have a British show again, but yeah, we're the same. We're chomping at the bits just to get to a show and, to be a part of a crowd again. because there's nothing like pro wrestling on this planet, and when you've got a full crowd, doing a better feeling, you know. And I'm guessing that's the same for you when you come out of that curtain.
Yeah, going to Hurricane. So Hurricane was the first place I went to. I want to say it was, no, actually, I guess AEW was the first place that I had a crowd again, because in August they had like the first test run at Dynamite. So like going from like doing some Hollywood tapings and like having some other things with no fans, and then to that I was like, oh my gosh, it just makes so much of a difference, because we just feed off of the fans, you know what I mean? Like we feed off your guys' energy and like kind of can see what's working and what's not working in the moment based off of that. And it's hard to tell stories sometimes with no crowd. Although I do think on Hollywood, I've felt really confident in what we've done storyline wise without fans. But other than that, it's like, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's the best feeling. As a fan, it's just the best feeling being a part of that crowd. When you know you're amongst fellow fans and you just got that atmosphere. You know, we're missing it so much. But I've rambled on wrestling again, so let me ask you, pizza, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I don't like cooked fruit in general.
All right.
So I say no, which is funny because like a blueberry donut's my favorite donut, but no cooked fruit for me. No apple pies, no pineapples.
No
on
apple pies?
No. I don't like pies in general that are cooked fruits. Controversial opinion.
I know, right? That's the headline of this interview, Callum.
Yeah, we were doing
the
so
clickbait.
We're on 27 minutes, no issues, and then you drop that on us.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, back to wrestling,
I do jalapenos. I like spicy.
Oh, spicy food. You can't beat spicy food.
All right. You've clawed it back. You like spicy food. That's good.
Yeah, well played, Heather. Well played. You're back in the game now. Well done. But I personally, I think I'm the only person, me and Callum, who likes pineapple on pizza. Everybody just tells us we're disgusting.
Yeah.
But I like it, and I like it with a big dollop of tomato ketchup.
I don't like ketchup.
You Brits and your ketchup.
I don't like ketchup.
I swear
to everything.
My brother-in-law puts ketchup on everything.
So do I. I'm the same. I am the same.
Have you ever tried our version of American chip spice?
I've tried. Wait, what do you mean, chip spice?
It's like paprika seasoning, but with like a lot of other spices mixed in.
Oh, I don't know, unless I've had it I've had like fish and chips at a pub or like whatever, but like
yeah,
I don't know that I've had the specific spice.
Because we call it American chip spice, but every time I've been to America, I've never seen spice on chips, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it depends on the restaurant. Like it's not a thing. It's just like at specific restaurants they would have that, but it's not like overall thing for sure.
So it's a fraud. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like French fries are French.
It is. It's a selling point. It's a fraud, man. But it is nice. But I do think Hull's the only place that does chip spice in it.
Yeah, because we've got to be different. Hull's the only place in the UK that has American chip spice. America doesn't even have American chip spice, but Hull does. But this is all we talk about on Ringside, is we bring people on to talk about food and then occasionally talk about wrestling.
Yeah.
I am fine with that because I love food.
Right? And who doesn't love food? All right, what's your favourite food, though?
Oh, I think pizza is my favorite food. I do a jalapeno mushroom pizza. That's like my jam.
Oh, very nice.
I like everything you just said.
Yeah.
Jalapeno mushroom pizza. Perfect.
Yeah, but I would need a hell of a lot of meat on that as well. But
I'm a vegetarian, so I don't do meat.
That's okay. I will have the jalapeno mushroom with meat. You know, you be a vegetarian all you want. You know,
I'm not even a vegetarian, but I'd probably take the jalapeno mushroom over that with meat any day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I do some like I've had like ones with vegan sausage too with that, and then some ricotta cheese.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sold on that. I mean, I might be a carnivore, but I have tried vegetarian and vegan meals before, and they are really nice.
One of the best burgers I ever had was in Orlando from a vegan restaurant. And yeah, absolutely. It was a great burger.
I had a waffle burger the other day. Sorry, I'm grabbing my cat. She's like meowing at me. You can say hi to her. This is Miss Elizabeth.
Hello.
I love the name.
Great name.
Love the name.
Oh.
She was meowing at me, so she's like, I need attention.
I'm surprised Opie hasn't seen her. But
look, you've got a friend.
She ain't bothered.
Right, she's fast asleep. You don't care.
She's done. She's like, that's enough attention. Goodbye.
Hey, speaking of Orlando, which is in Florida, I mean, WrestleMania's in Florida this year. Are you going to be in the area for Mania weekend?
Yeah, I'm actually moving to Orlando.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully, obviously, like, kind of stuff's up in the air. The plan is to move to Orlando by April 1st. So I will be in the area for WrestleMania weekend.
Wow. I mean, you move into the area. I mean, is the plans? I mean, is NXT on your radar? I know we mentioned AEW, but I mean, is NXT on your radar as well?
Of course, yeah. I just want to wrestle regularly again, and I need to be in a space where I can do that. And I got friends down there already, so it's kind of an easy change, and I don't have to deal with winter still, so that's nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, God, it's practically winter all the time over here, so it's I'm with you there.
Florida, right? Florida is a great place to be anyway for a wrestler. It seems like everything wrestling related goes on the East Coast, but specifically Florida. Like, that's got a really good wrestling scene. You've got AEW and NXT both based there. A load of good promotions. So hopefully, once things start to come back, you'll be wrestling all the time again.
Yeah, that's the hope. Fingers crossed, because I'm sick of sitting around.
Well, before we start to wrap up, because I know we've kept you a long time. We've probably talked about food way too much.
Okay.
But we've loved every second of it, by the way. But we mentioned NXT, and I know you have worked with Shotzi Blackheart before. What's it like working with Shotzi? I mean, is she as wild and crazy as you see her on TV?
I think Shotzi is exactly how she presents herself. There's nothing fake about that. She is so fun and wild and just herself. I love that she's been able to translate that to TV too, because I think she's so fun and brings a different energy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you as well before we let you go, because I have just recently finally managed to get into Breaking Bad. It's taken me 5 years. I mean, yeah, I know, I'm terrible. I mean, come on, what's your favourite TV program, and why is it Sons of Anarchy?
Oh man, that's a really hard question, because right now my brain can only handle trash reality TV. So I've literally just been watching The Challenge nonstop, which is an amazing reality show. But thinking about my favorite TV show, I think The Office or New Girl is more my vibe of the kind of silly comedy that you can really seriously watch or not pay attention to at all.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
I've just got into New Girl as well, actually, and I'm hooked on it. I can't stop watching it. It's so much fun.
It's so funny, and you can rewatch it over and over again, and you're gonna catch new stuff.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
If you
The Office, though, I mean, are you talking the US Office or the UK Office?
The US Office, because there was only one season of the UK, right?
There was two of the UK. No, there was two of the UK.
Was he?
Yeah, there was two in a Christmas special, I think.
Oh yeah.
But I'm with Heather. The US version's so superior to our version. It beats all day long.
I think they're both very different programs. I think the UK one's much more cringy than the US one. I cringe more watching it, but I think the US one is funnier.
But there's so many cringy moments in the US one too. I rewatched it at the beginning of quarantine, and I was like, oh my God, how did they get away with this?
Well, they've just put it on Netflix over here now, so I can binge it again. They've just put the US office and Parks and Recreations on our Netflix.
Oh, Parks and Rec.
That's a good one.
They're to be binged because apparently, according to Callum as well, I am Ron Swanson. So it's yeah, and I take that as a huge compliment.
I can see that.
Yeah. I take it as a
wait,
huge
that
compliment.
reminded me. What's your whiskey choice?
Oh, well, at the moment I'm drinking Johnny Walker Black Label.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I do like. Have you ever heard of Hague Club?
No.
It's a single malt. It's quite new. It's David Beckham is.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Posh Spice's husband.
Yes.
Yes. Well, he's heavily involved with it. It's his brand. So I'm kind of in between those two at the moment.
Okay.
But does that mean are you a whiskey drinker as well?
I used to be. I don't like. I like whiskey, but I don't sip whiskey.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like I like whiskey drinks. Is Bullet considered bourbon though? Bullet's bourbon.
Yeah. But bourbon's good though. Bourbon's good. Jack Daniels, Jim Beam, all that. They're all good as well.
Yeah. But that I've always enjoyed it with drinks, but I can't just sip any alcohol. Period. I can't just like sip a liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I to be fair, I can sip whiskey, but I won't sit and sip any other kind of liquor. But I'll happily pour a glass of whiskey and.
First time I've ever heard you say liquor, Jamie.
Liquor.
Yeah.
Liquor. Well, it is liquor. It is liquor.
I was like, wait, what is it called?
Alcohol.
Alcohol. But that's not like liquor. Like wine and beer isn't the same. And that's also liquor.
Everything comes under alcohol for us.
Yeah, we're not that. Yeah, it's just I'm gonna call it liquor from now on. So I like whiskey. That's my liquor. Right. Heather, this has been one of the most fun interviews I think we've ever done because it's just been so easy to talk to you. It really has, and I would love to get you back on in the future if you'd be up for that.
Maybe we could talk about wrestling then.
Wrestling. I've heard of that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do that, I guess.
Apparently, we're meant to do a show on wrestling. Never seem to do it, but maybe next time.
Maybe next time. These are more fun when you don't talk about wrestling because then it's like, you're not answering the same questions over and over again.
It's kind of why we don't write questions down is because we realized a while ago, like, we're speaking to real people who probably have more interesting things to say that aren't to do with wrestling. Like, they're real people with real lives. So if we can just find out, like what your TV show is, your favorite TV show, what your favorite donut is, that's actually more interesting in a way. We want.
We just like chat shit. We chat shit. We go with the flow. We do a little bit of research, but. Yeah, we just like to go with the flow. And this has been like mega fun. So
yeah, thanks so much for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Anytime.
But before you do go, tell everybody where they can find you, social media, any merchandise.
Yeah, okay, so I have a Big Cartel, which is, I'm assuming, bigcartel.com/Heather Monroe. Could be around that area. And then Heather is me on Twitter and Instagram, and follow my TikTok, which is Heather is me 5. Because I'm doing stuff on that now too.
I'll be. Can we expect TikTok dances if I subscribe? Is that what's happening? Or
so I don't do as many of the dances as I do like comedy videos.
All right,
because I think that's more fun. But me and my roommate are literally going to film a TikTok dance video after this. So there will be one up soon.
Well,
right, we'll check it out.
I'm going to shock you now, Heather.
Okay.
I don't have TikTok. I mean,
Do you have an Instagram?
Yeah,
I do have an Instagram.
He lives for Instagram. He loves it.
I do have an Instagram because I look at Instagram as a photo album.
As a platform to post 10 selfies on every day. Like that's...
Listen,
same boo.
When you've got a beard that looks as good as this, you're going to post selfies of it, all right?
I'm just winding you up, dude.
Yeah,
I know you love Instagram.
I feel like now now that I don't do my makeup as often, whenever I do my makeup, I feel like I post so many selfies of myself because it's like, did you guys see that I did the thing today?
Yeah, I made an effort.
I made an effort today.
Just for the record as well, Heather, Callum takes a hell of a lot more selfies than me.
That is absolutely bogus. But we could go into that for a whole other 40 minutes.
That's a whole other podcast.
That's a whole other podcast.
Well, look, you've got to go and do your TikTok dance with your roommate. I've got to finish season 3 of Breaking Bad, and Callum's got to find, I don't know, something on YouTube.
I've got to edit the episodes, Jamie. I've got to do the heavy lift.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. But it's been an absolute pleasure. We will definitely get you back on, and we will talk some wrestling next time. But for now, Heather Monroe, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.